Okay, we are recording now, so we can kind of.
Wait, you're recording now?
Yeah. Do you want me to stop?
No. Let's keep going. Perfect. All right. Today we're talking about PIXAR. Studio that a lot of people are really passionate about. I'm not. Are you, Ricky?
Oh. I mean, I was. Like back when I was like 13, 14, 15. Heck yeah. Now, not so much. No.
Yeah, it's because we've entered kind of like a new era of PIXAR where I feel like all the creativity has kind of died down and they want to focus on sequels and unnecessary prequels and, stuff like that.
Yeah, they're lazy. Exactly.
Yeah. So we're going to be ranking them. We're going to go one at a time, I guess, right? Like I'll do 23, you'll do 23, then I'll do 22, you'll do 22. Does that sound good?
Let's get it. I'm down with it.
Right on, man. Okay, so let's get into the shit. Who's going first?
I'll go first so that your number one can be the last and only thing that people will remember. So I'll go first.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. That sounds good to me, man.
All right. So,
okay.
I do believe that I have a very viewed upon movie that everyone says is the worst of all of the Pixar's. Might be different from yours, but for me, the worst Pixar movie that I've ever seen in my entire life was Cars 2. A spy premise. Why? It was all over the place. Like the whole story was just like, I hated everything about Cars 2. So Cars 2 is my lowest on the ranking of Pixar movies.
I think the reason that it's the most hated upon the general audience and critics is because it is the worst. It's my 23 as well. Cars 2 is a piece of shit. Dog shit. I was so disappointed. Mater felt like the main character of the movie.
Oh, it did.
And I thought that was kind of really stupid of him.
Yeah, and I will say the movie is trash all the way around, but there is one scene in particular that I thought was kind of funny, but it wasn't even a good scene. It was that scene where Mater goes to a sushi place and he goes up to a sushi guy and he's like, wasabi, and Mater's like, I'm not much, what's up with you? And then he gets pistachio ice cream. It was a stupid scene, but that was the only scene that I was like, I chuckled. Everything
that's
else
one of the only
scenes
I remember.
Yeah,
I think that was in the trailer, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. It was the only scene that had any kind of humor that I thought was funny.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's happened to me in real life.
Really?
I guess I could kind of relate to it. I don't know. Yeah. The first time I saw wasabi, I thought it was guacamole, and I took a bite of it, and it wasn't. I think I was 11.
It wasn't guacamole.
Yeah, I was really young. But no, the movie's a piece of shit. I hate the movie. The spy premise was stupid. Just everything about it was really dumb. I'm glad it's your 23.
That was your 23 as well?
Yep.
Okay, see? I thought so. I mean,
yeah.
Everyone says it for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. What's your 22, Ricky?
Well, I said to you before we started recording that there was something that I wanted to bring up, but I wanted to wait to get on this this video. I've actually never seen this next movie, but
you've never seen it?
Yes, I've never seen this movie, but I've heard so much about it, and because it is the third installment of this franchise, I can only just, from what I gather, assume and believe that it is just as bad. Cars 3. I've read certain things about it. I get the gist of this movie, and I can already tell you it sucks. So that's my 22 is Cars 3.
But a movie you haven't seen, so I guess you can't really talk about it that much, huh?
No, never seen it, but I don't need to.
So that was 22, right?
That was 22.
22? Okay. Yeah, all right. My 22 is something different. It's not Cars 3. My 22 is a movie that I was actually kind of excited for whenever I saw the trailer. I was excited for the first 30 seconds because I saw the outline, the silhouettes of these dinosaurs, and it looked really exciting. And then I saw what the dinosaurs actually looked like, and my expectations were, shattered right then and there. I didn't even have to finish the trailer, and I realized the movie was shit. The Good Dinosaur, obviously, is what I'm talking about. That movie was fucking awful. It was really, really boring, and the animation was some of the worst. I mean, like, I can't get over how bad the dinosaurs looked, but in contrast to like the rocks and like the mountains and the background and like the trees and like all the detail put into all that versus this like Play-Doh looking dinosaur, I felt like I was watching like Space Jam or something, but with dinosaurs, no basketball. It was boring.
Should
I
have been
couldn't.
called the bad dinosaur, huh?
Yeah, that was funny.
Thank you for your support. But yeah, I agree, dude. Like, it's
Sucked.
it's not good. Yeah,
No, yeah, that was not the Good Dinosaur. That was a
it was
really,
it was
really.
like a ripoff. Oddly enough, it was a ripoff and a less good version of The Land Before Time.
Yeah, I always thought it was like The Land Before Time had a baby with that movie Dinosaur. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a Disney movie
Mm-hmm.
called Dinosaur. It's like those two movies had a baby, but like those two movies were brother and sister, and the baby came out retarded. And that's what The Good Dinosaur is.
I was gonna say the baby came out with an extra chromosome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. So it's funny that you bring that up. Oh, all right. So what's your 21? Unless you have something else to say.
No, that was your 22, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my 21 is controversial. I don't care because I didn't like it when it was announced. I didn't like it when I watched it. I don't like anything about it. Though I will say it's not a bad movie. I just didn't want it to happen. And that's 21 is Toy Story 4. Hated it. Hated everything about it. It broke the rules of the toys. It just it didn't need to happen. It wasn't necessary. I didn't think the story needed to continue. But I will say, obviously, the Pixar has the Pixar theory where all of the movies kind of connect. I will say that Toy Story 4 does lend a hand in the Pixar theory in the sense that like the toys are now, getting out of their box of just being a toy. They're starting to actually do, other things than they should do. I don't know. I just think it was a crappy movie.
I knew that would be in the bottom half of your list. I had no idea it was going to be this low, though. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. I will agree with you. That is a worthless movie. It's pointless, but I think there's a couple of sequels / prequels that I think are a little more pointless.
Really?
I'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah. Well, actually, I'll get into that when I get to my 21.
All right. Let's hear it.
My 21 is the most. Let me see. The most useless. Debatably the most useless sequel in the entire Pixar world. Cars 3.
Okay.
Very, 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 very forgettable movie. And when I say forgettable, I mean like I remember so little about it that I don't know what to say. But I saw it like when it came out. So I remember him getting into a wreck. Lightning McQueen gets into this like wreck and he spends most of the movie like recovering or whatever. And that is all I remember. I remember nothing
you're not
beyond
far
that.
from me, not even watching it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. I sat through the whole thing and I don't think I fell asleep. I don't fall asleep during movies. I watched the whole thing. It went into my brain. It just is so forgettable that there is no way I could put it any higher. The only reason there's stuff below it is because they're like memorably terrible. This one was just forgettable on every level. So I think 21's a fair spot for Cars 3. Fuck it. Terrible movie. just like Cars 2.
Absolutely. Just like Cars 2. Absolutely.
Yeah. I definitely would rather sit through Toy Story 4 again before Cars 3.
I would have to agree with you. But I haven't seen Cars 3, so I can't agree with you. All right, so
All right. It's 20 for
you're
you.
on 20. Okay, so this is interesting because now, well, I mean, all of the movies that you have mentioned is now all the movies that I will have mentioned. And that number 20 is The Good Dinosaur. So
Oh, wow.
so the reason why The Good Dinosaur isn't as low as yours is for the reason you gave it praise, and that is the background animation. Like the landscape animation,
Mhm.
dude, to me is the
Yeah.
most beautiful of any Pixar movie. Like
Huh.
it's realistic. Like I'm looking at the trees and how they sway, and they're not all in sync. Like they do their own thing. They did a lot they gave a lot of attention to the landscape. The rest of the piece of crap, they didn't do anything. When they didn't care to write a decent story, they didn't care to do anything. They just,
Yeah.
I hope the guy or lady who was in charge of the landscape, the background, I hope they got their money's worth because that's the only redeeming quality about this.
I don't understand why they didn't. Clearly, it was different editors. Like, clearly.
Oh, yeah, it has to be.
Okay, so I'll get into my number 20, I guess. You haven't mentioned it yet. Well, obviously. My number 20 is Brave.
Oh.
The reason I'm putting Brave so close to Cars 3 is because I have forgotten it, even though I saw it in the movie theater. The thing is I think I remember a little bit more from Brave than I remember from Cars 3. And it's been a lot longer since I've seen Brave because I think it came out in like 2012, and Cars 3 was like just a few years ago.
Right.
But I remember specifically watching it in 2012 feeling just so disconnected. It's one of those movies that I never felt like actually got started, and I never felt emotionally attached to any of the characters, and
Right.
I never had any desire to go back and rewatch it. So like, yeah,
Yep.
it's just kind of one of those that I just want to forget about. Don't care about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I liked her accent for like the first 5 minutes, and then I was like, I hate this accent. I just hated listening to her talk.
Yeah, that's funny.
But,
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Brave.
I really don't know what else to say about it. It's forgettable, and I'm gonna say that about the next like 3 as well.
Oh, dude, same. The next 3 are literally, dude. It would be insane if we have the same 3 because I feel like we might. I feel like. Wait, let me ask you: are any of your next 3 sequels?
Yes.
Okay, we're probably gonna have one that. Okay, so that was 20 for you, right? So now I'm on 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, 19. Monsters University.
Oh man. Oh
Oh,
man, my number 19 is Monsters University as well.
yeah. Dude, it's so there was
Oh.
no point for that either.
No, I know. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, useless.
It didn't add any like
Useless.
if you're gonna do a prequel, at least have some like adding like you have to add something to the original. Like you just
I
have to,
know.
and nothing
That's
was
what
added.
made we were just talking about X-Men First Class earlier. That's what makes that movie good to me, is how well it complements those first few movies. And this one did none of that. It did nothing to complement the first movie at all. It didn't set up anything, it didn't do anything. It just feels useless.
It's so dumb. Like at this point, it was in 2013. When this movie dropped, everyone started to open their eyes to the fact that Pixar was just rehashing sequels, because
Yeah.
after that it was just a continuing spiral of just this sequel and this sequel and this sequel. So
Mm-hmm.
this was the beginning of the show.
Oh yeah. The beginning of the shit show. I think the beginning of the shit show was I'll get there when I'll explain it when I get there. But basically, there's two phases of Pixar for me. There is the pre-Wally and the post-Wally.
Okay.
And I'm gonna explain it when I get to Wally. I'll
Interesting.
explain what's happening. Yeah, but
Interesting.
let's just say post Wally is where all those useless sequels and prequels are. And Monsters University is just got to be one of the most useless sequels and prequels that there is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, number 18 to me is also a useless sequel, but not really, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
My number 18 is Finding Dory. Is that your number 18 as well?
It is. I swear to God, Finding Dory is my number 18.
I knew it, dude. I knew we wouldn't be like too far off, dude. That movie sucked too. The voice acting was so bad to me.
That movie is cancer. I'm so glad you don't like it.
It's not good, man.
It's really, really
It's
bad.
the exact same movie, but with Dory.
Oh yeah, like who wants to follow Ellen? Ugh.
No, I like the sea lion Jarrod.
I don't even remember the sea lion. There was a sea lion in that movie?
Dude, yeah, he acted like super retarded, but like it was
I just
funny.
remember an octopus. I don't remember the sea lion.
Yeah.
I remember like that's another one that just left my memory. I remember it trying to be cute. It was like it just wanted to be so cute. Like, look how cute little Dory is. Isn't she so cute? Like, I hate that shit.
Oh, like, and this was the movie. This was the movie where they started to implement like our normal life into these movies, because prior to like these movies, it was its own world. It had its own rules, and you would watch the movie and it'd be easy to digest their rules, their world, and you'd be transcended into that, into their world. Mm-hmm. This movie started to add things into our real life that we go through, and I don't like that. And it was who's the chick from Aliens? The lady who shaved her head?
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, she had an appearance in that. Like, she's the voice of the aquarium, like, intercom person. She's like, hello, I'm Sigourney Weaver, and welcome to the Los Angeles Aquarium. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't want real life into these things. And I've started to see that. Yeah. And I started to see that in the Pixar movies, too. A lot of, like, real world not problems, but real world things into these Pixar movies.
Speaking of real world things into these Pixar movies, oh wait, shit. No, never mind. I can't do that transition into mine because you haven't named your 17. Fuck. I was gonna use that as a really clever transition into what my number 17 is, but I can't because
you can get onto it right now. Like, you can, because 17 is Brave for the exact same points that you mentioned before. So now you can get to your 17.
Oh shit. Okay, well, I'll just say my 17's Onward, but I'll let you talk about Brave for a little bit.
Bro. Okay, 17 is Brave, bro. 16 is Onward.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, we really don't have to. We can just talk about Onward now.
You don't want to talk about Brave?
Brave is pointless and boring, and I don't remember anything. I just, like I said before, her voice was interesting the first 5 minutes, and then I just did not care.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, the Pixar theory was like this is like the epitome of the Pixar theory in the Brave movies, because the old witch lady, whatever.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but it has nothing to do with the movie. It's like, what's the back behind the scenes of these movies. So it really has nothing to do with Brave itself. Brave sucked.
Oh yeah, Brave sucked. I remember the Sully drawing or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so, I don't care. Onward. That wouldn't make me like a movie. Okay, yeah. Moving onward to Onward. This one was really kind of just, this is the most recent one I watched, and I was just very disconnected. I felt like it was very boring. I don't know. Did you feel like, who was it? Chris Pratt that voiced the main guy, not like the main guy, but like the brother.
Yeah.
He should have been voiced by Jack Black.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I felt like that would have elevated the movie so much.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just this normal I couldn't. And the other one, that was Tom Holland. I didn't even know that. See, he did nothing special for that. Like, I didn't even realize it was Tom Holland until like the movie was over. And then it was like, there was nothing special about that.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And the background characters, like, they usually do really good with a side characters. No good side. Like, obviously it was the brothers, but other than that, like, Pixar does a good job having background characters that are funny or memorable. None of these background characters were memorable at all. Nothing, gave into these side characters for me.
So this movie was being praised for including the first. Well, they say it's like the first gay character in a Disney movie.
Yeah, the lady.
But the cop was like, the lesbian cop or whatever, and she was like, well, my girlfriend's kid said blah 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 blah. I was just like,
that's it.
That was it. Like, that was just that one throwaway line. There was nothing else to it, and the movie was being praised. Like, if you ask me, that is kind of like, I feel like if they're gonna go for it, they should just go for it.
Right?
Just like either go for it or don't. But like, they edited it. They did it so there were. How am I gonna word this? It's filmed in a way that could be easily edited out for countries like China or
right.
Like, and I don't know. I just felt like it was really stupid, and it was like, just, I don't know. You should just go for it if you're gonna do that. Don't have a throwaway line. And
is it called green lighting? I don't know if that's the correct word, but like, basically just like trying to please a side without actually doing anything. Trying to please, like,
but what got
diversity.
What got me?
Go ahead.
What gets me is that it worked. Like, there's tons and tons of articles saying how progressive this movie is and all this stuff, and I'm like, how is this progressive? It's pandering.
Yeah, and it didn't do a good job. Like, it didn't pander good. It was just like a throwaway line, like you said. And that's it.
Yeah, it's like, that's disrespectful. If you're gonna go for it, I don't know. That's stupid. I don't care. Whatever.
I agree. With you.
Not a good movie.
Nope. I will. And it doesn't even help, like, the movie itself. It's just the premise. If you have a brother, I think you can kind of find, like, something relatable within it. Because, like, I have a brother, and my dad, I never really knew my real dad. So, like, certain aspects were like, I can kind of relate. But other than that, like, nothing else was giving to this movie.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. All right, so I guess I'll go to my 16 since you just did yours technically. My 16 might be controversial to you. I don't know how you feel about this movie. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm whatever on it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but Bug's Life was never one that really clicked for me.
One, bro.
Oh my god.
Number 15 is Bug's Life.
That's so funny. That's so fucking funny.
Let's talk about it.
Oh man. Let's talk about Bug's Life then. What is there to say? Oh god, can I talk about how just watching the movie makes me want to vomit because of how aged it is?
Oh, it's bad. Yeah, the animation didn't age well.
No, at least the first Toy Story, which is admittedly really aged as well. At least the toys in that movie look good. The bugs in this movie just did not look like bugs.
No,
I don't know what it looked like. It was atrocious. It made me want to throw up.
The epitome of the definition of a sophomore slump is this movie.
It looked like a Phantom Menace, the Star Wars prequel.
Just not good. It even was like slightly, would I say, political? In a sense, it was like how the grasshoppers, there was that one scene where the grasshoppers are saying, we don't give them power because if they have power, it was not a great movie. There were certain things that were interesting about it, but it didn't age well.
Mhm.
That's a perfect way to describe this movie. You can do, like, hate on the story and all that, but it didn't age well at all.
No, I need to rewatch it to get a better opinion on it. But I didn't like it as a kid. And then when I rewatched it as like a young adult, I didn't really care for it either. It just was kind of boring. And honestly, the movies, everyone said it was a ripoff, and it probably was. But I always preferred this movie called Ants,
Hmm.
which was very similar, and I think it was released the same year as Bugs Life. But the animation was a lot better, and it felt more mature. I don't know.
Oh, we definitely felt more mature. I don't know if the animation was better. It was different for me personally, but like, yeah,
It
it was a lot more mature. It was a lot,
felt better.
you know, yeah. That was
Yeah, I don't know,
wait, that
but
was your 17. Wait, I mean your
that was my 16 and your 15,
my
right?
15th. Right. Dude, if we
My
have the
15,
same, if your 15 is my 14, I'm gonna.
it won't be.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, it won't be because I know that you like my 15,
Oh God, you better not
and
be what
I
I think
don't.
it is. Go ahead.
Oh no, I don't think you're not gonna hate me for this one. I just
Okay.
know that you like this one higher than 15. If it's your 14, I'll be shocked. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
My 15 is Cars.
Ah, okay.
The first Cars.
Right.
Um, not a fan. I liked it as a kid, but I did rewatch it like maybe a year ago, and oh my god, it is aggravating. It is not at all as good as it was when I was a child. And I never had this huge love for Cars. Like even as a kid, I hated the soundtrack, the Rascal Flats or whatever. God, I hate that
Hmm.
song so much. But the like I don't know, just the whole vibe of the movie, and it is one of those the movies that just never clicked with me. And then rewatching it a few years ago, it probably caused it to be a little lower on the list than if I hadn't watched it. So I don't know. I don't plan on watching it ever again. So unless someone just wants to watch Cars with me, then maybe I'll watch it with them. But ugh, I don't like Cars. It's probably
Okay.
looking back, it is. Oh no, Bugs Life is the weakest of the pre-Wally movies.
Oh.
But Cars is not too far behind. I guess I'd sooner watch Cars than Bugs Life.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is the moment where our similarities will differ. I think this is where the
Good.
movies will be in random order
Yeah.
from each
I
other.
don't I don't want our list to be the exact same. I like that little streak we had though.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It was
uh,
solid.
so 14. This is going to be controversial for some people. Number 14 for me was Soul, the newest Pixar movie.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. Um,
Hmm.
the reason being, it didn't feel like a Pixar movie, which I think that's what it was going for. But I have this understanding of like the Pixar, universe and the movies. Like, they don't stray
Yeah.
too far from what their original movies, usually are. This felt completely different.
Mhm.
It didn't feel like they were trying to be anything like the Pixar movies. It kind of dragged on for me. Like I just kind of looked at my watch. I was like, when is this movie over? Like I wasn't into it as much as other people were. It was really original. It was a very original movie. And I think as a visual art piece, it was great. It was awesome. The mixture of jazz
Mhm.
and, just stating the obvious, having a main uh black cast or, a black yeah, like a black cast.
Main character.
It was really good. But like for a Pixar movie,
Hmm.
not so much. What I will say
You
to
know?
give it some like positive feedback, the character design was awesome. Everyone was different and
Yeah.
unique, and it was awesome. But I
Mhm.
just this is a movie that was meh for me. Meh.
You know what's funny?
Mm.
You mentioned and I'm not there yet. Soul isn't next step for me, but I'm just gonna make this comment now. You mentioned not liking the movie because it didn't feel like Pixar to me or to you, or at
Mhm.
least you felt like the movie was flawed for that reason. The problems I have with Soul is that it felt too much like a Pixar movie.
Whoa.
It felt too formulaic. It felt almost like it was trying too hard to be like a standard formulaic Pixar movie. And the whole time I watched it, I just kept thinking of Inside Out. And like, I don't know if it was the animation style or what, but it just, I don't know. It felt like, I don't know. That's just kind of what it reminded me of.
It felt very much like Inside Out. Just, and I didn't like the fact that some of the concepts that they were going for was like a little too deep for like a Pixar movie. And I think that's where I'm like, oh, this, it was going into like the afterlife, and I was just like, this is very deep for a kid's children animation studio. I don't know. I wasn't as crazy about it.
Hang on one sec.
Yeah.
Drop my freaking phone. All right, cool. So what did you just say? What was that?
I just finished.
14?
Yeah, that was 14th. So for me.
14, yeah. Soul 14. Okay, fair enough. My number 14, you've talked about already. Toy Story 4. Okay. Easily the worst Toy Story movie. And it's actually the only Toy Story movie that I would give a negative review. I think that I watched it twice now. The first time I watched it, I kind of liked it. But the second time I watched it, I just realized how pointless it was and how it was just rehashing the same formula that we've been seeing in these Toy Story movies since Toy Story 2, except it was so much more prevalent here. Mm-hmm. Because it's the third time we've followed this fucking exact same formula. And I don't know, I'm just a little kind of sick of it. And it feels like people said, it got glowing reviews. It's got like a 99 on Rotten Tomatoes, and like people are saying that it's like I didn't think there was anything they could do with these characters, but they really did. They really did it. And I'm like, what did they do? They brought back Bo Peep, and that's probably my favorite aspect of the movie was how they explained that character disappearing between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really care about anything. I liked that explanation they gave at the beginning and how they kind of brought her back into it. But other than that,
I hated everything about it.
There was some funny scenes with the fork, I guess, when it's like calling itself trash and like throwing itself out the window. Like that got a good chuckle out of me, but that's not so what?
Yeah.
The puppet characters were kind of creepy, I guess. And I like the way they edited, the way they moved and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's these aspects are what's keeping it so high on this list. But like it's kind of hard to find praise within it. There's very little that I like about this movie. Mm. Oh, the animation is fucking flawless. Absolutely gorgeous animation.
I don't know. There was a YouTuber who talked about like they use certain camera movement in an animation, and they didn't need to do like there's certain scenes where it looks like a camera was like filming it, and they just kind of went an extra mile in the animation into making something look that certain way.
I can make a whole video about how the movie Rango does that, and it did it 10 times better than this movie did. And no one ever talks about that movie.
Dude, it's weird that you bring up Rango. Rango's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's funny that you say that because Rango is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. It's on my 2011 list.
Dude, my girlfriend, she hates that I watch this so much. It's a really
that movie
good
is
movie.
So good. Yeah, it's so good. Like if it was on this Pixar list, it'd be in my top 3.
Oh, for sure.
That's
for
how
sure.
much I like it.
It deserved its Oscar. It won an Oscar, so it deserved it.
Yeah. We're gonna get sidetracked if you get me talking about that movie. Fuck, I love Rango. But no, I'm still in the shit here, man.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're not in the good stuff. Are you on 14 or am I on 13?
You're on 13 now. I just finished up Toy Story 4. I don't need to talk about it anymore.
Okay. So my next 3 films could literally be changed around in different orders. And I want to
Hmm.
change it around because you're not really gonna appreciate what I'm putting at the bottom of the three, but I'm just gonna have to.
Yeah.
And I understand. Let me
Uh,
just preference. I understand the
scared.
originality. I understand everything. But Wally is number
Uh,
13. It's
oh,
it
thank God. I thought you
is.
were gonna say something else.
Oh no, no, Wally. Wally is number 13. It's boring. I understand how you. Most people say this is the number one best movie of all time. I don't think it is. But
Nah.
yeah, it's Wally. I don't really know how. You can't really. I don't have any notes for it that much. Besides, like again, the Pixar theory. Like this is like the pinnacle of the Pixar theory. This really ties everything up. But yeah, I just didn't like it.
Yeah. I can see not liking it, but I wouldn't put it that low. Not quite that low, obviously. My 13 is not Wally. Do you have anything else to say about it?
Nope. It's just again
Okay.
a meh movie for
Yeah.
me.
My 13 is also a meh movie, The Incredibles 2.
Hmm.
But I thought this movie was ass. Like, it's
Oh.
really bad. And the things that I like about it are the same things I like about Toy Story 4. You know, the animation is gorgeous. There were a couple scenes that made me chuckle. I do not, I didn't like the villain because they kind of just spoiled who the villain was in the beginning. Like the woman's name I remember was Evelyn Dever, and I was like, her name is Evil Endeavor. Like she's clearly gonna be the secret villain, like obviously. And then she was, and they treated it like it was a plot twist, and I was like, okay, yeah, I guess everyone who's watching this movie is stupid then. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Pixar. There's what I hate the most about this movie is the way they spam baby Jack Jack. Like, ooh, if we just throw a bunch of boo boo goo goo gaga baby noises and fucking poo poo pee pee shit at the screen and have this, baby chasing a raccoon, then we don't have to do any writing. We can just spam baby Jack Jack. And yeah, so they just so many scenes of just Jack Jack doing stupid shit, and I was like, fuck off. Like
Yeah.
just do something interesting. And I don't know. Why was Mr. Incredible such a dick?
He
Like why did
was.
he actively he wanted to see everyone that he loved fail? And like I don't understand.
He really did. It was like I don't want my wife to be the one that needs to save the world. I want to do it. Yeah, he was definitely a jerk.
Yeah. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth putting it so high on the list. It's like, but gosh, man, I did not like it. I did not like Incredibles 2 at all. Another
Wow,
one of those pointless sequels.
wow, that was your 13th, right?
Yeah.
We have not got to the ones you like yet. We're halfway there.
No. No. Okay, so 12 through 10. Oh no, sorry. 12 through 8. No. Nah, never mind. 12 and 11 I'm very iffy about.
Okay. I think
Yeah.
again, I think this is where we're gonna have a lot of the. I think we're gonna have some similar movies in here in like the next
We'll see.
two or three.
Maybe.
Um, 12 is for me is Inside Out. Um,
Okay.
it was original. Like it really was original. Pixar is very good at doing original movies. I mean, concept
Mhm.
was unique. But stepping past the originality, there wasn't much going for like the story. It just was super
Mhm.
dragging. I just like again, like I said with Soul, I looked at my watch like halfway through this movie and I was just like, is this movie almost over yet? Like I was bored.
Mhm. I can see that. I can I'll get into that in a minute. I have
Hmm.
I have I have quite a few things I could say about Inside Out. I'll get into it in a sec, but yeah, I could
That's it, man.
Mhm. All right. Well, I'll get into my 12. Um you've said this one already. 12 for me is Soul. The most, not the most recent movie I watched on it. I watched it the other day, same day I watched Onward, and I remember thinking, this is a lot better than Onward. But I was also thinking, there's a lot wrong with this movie. Like, it was just certain things were bothering me, and certain, like, the character that could like snap you back into like your body, like
Mm-hmm.
as he wanted, to. He could
That
just do
homeless
it.
looking guy.
Yes, exactly. Why didn't they just do that instead of like go look for the life pass the whole movie?
Right,
Like, they spend
right.
so much time looking for this pass thing, and I'm like, wait, he can just send you back to your body the snap of his fingers. Why not just do that? It made no sense to me. And
Yeah.
there are little things like that that just kept bothering me the whole time. um I agree with you on the animation. I like the characters. I like the way they were animated, especially the Jerry Terry thing. That it was kind of like, oh gosh, what did it remind me of? I don't know. I don't know. It reminded me of something. It was really cool animation though. That, like, it was like a 2D character. You know what I'm talking about?
Jerry Terry. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Jerry
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Terry
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
When they're in like
I
the
really
underworld
like
or
that
whatever,
animation.
the Second Life world.
Yeah, yeah. I very much like the animation of that character. I think that I like the animation of New York in the movie was really cool. They did a real
Mhm.
good job with the background, the buildings, and Anna, and incorporating that. And the soundtrack is my favorite part of the whole movie. I think I loved some of the soundtrack in it. Um, there's this like beatsy ambient song that plays at a few points in the movie that I really liked. I don't know, it didn't feel like Pixar music. It felt kind of mature. I don't know. I just, there's things I liked about it, but there's a lot of things that I just didn't like about it. And this is one of the ones that I really disconnected from. Like, I just, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was about it. It just didn't click with me. It was too formulaic.
yeah.
There was
I
nothing
mean,
for me to really bite into.
yeah. It was just again, like I said before, meh. A very good meh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
And you know what? I feel like if this wasn't a Pixar movie, I might actually have liked it a little bit more. Not a lot more, but I might have been like a little bit more. Oh, that was pretty good. But I don't know. For me, since it was a Pixar movie, it I couldn't get on board with it as much as I
If it
wanted to.
wasn't a Pixar movie,
Yeah.
I would think it's someone trying to copy Pixar.
Oh well, yeah. True that.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's your number 11?
So my number 11. I think from here on out, these are movies that I enjoy. All the movies prior, like, obviously, like the bottom five have been movies that I've absolutely hated, and the
Mm-hmm.
movies up to now have been movies that I meh. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
number 11 for me is and up are movies that I actually enjoy. And that number 11 is Up. Up is
Oh,
very good the first 10 minutes. Absolutely tear jerking, emotionally driven,
yeah,
and great
definitely.
the first 10 minutes. Afterwards, it starts to become this redundant, boring adventure, but I was still captivated throughout. Also, the soundtrack to me, I love the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Love the music going throughout. But yeah, it was started out really good and ended kind of meh, but a good meh. So that's number
Yeah,
11 for me.
cool. Fair enough. I get that. I like Up. I'll get into that soon. That's but yeah, spoiler alert, that's one of the ones in my positive for you. But I'm not quite to my positives yet. Number 11 is still in my ones that I'd probably give 11 a 5 out of 10. That's not positive to me. That's still that's
Pretty.
boring rating.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Number 11 is Inside Out. Um, this movie is absolutely frustrating because I totally get what they're trying to say, but what they're actually saying is that people have no control over their life, and we're actually being controlled by little people inside of us, and we really have no say. And it was the moment I realized that was when she walked up to this stairs to she was so excited to go slide down it, and then sadness touches something, and then she like gets real sad out of nowhere and
Yeah,
decides
yeah.
not to slide down it, and then happiness touches it again, and then she's like, oh no, wait, never mind, I'm gonna slide down this rail, fuck yeah. And I laughed really, really hard. And like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
There are
problematic. It's
things that I
definitely
like.
problematic.
The animation is nothing special at all. It's very, very generic animation.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't. It's not nearly as pretty as like Incredibles 2 or Toy Story 4, but the movie is better than those movies. Um, I I I guess I was kind of scared that following the character Joy around, you were only going to be able to. She was only going to be able to portray one emotion, but I'm glad that they kind of have her portray the other emotions as well. You know, she didn't feel like she was just happy the whole time. She
But
actually had
right,
other.
right.
Um, there's just more that I dislike about it than that I like. Um,
This
I'm
is
just trying to
a
think.
side. I'm thinking of the movie right now, how it's problematic. You can cut this if this doesn't make any sense. But isn't it weird how like her emotions have more emotions than she has because her
Yeah,
emotion,
no,
you know what I'm
that
talking
totally
about?
makes. Yeah,
It doesn't make
I know
sense.
exactly what you're talking about. No, because in her, I don't know. There's so many problems with it. Like, why does she? I don't get why she suddenly becomes this empty void just because her like her I don't even remember what happened. Like her train of thought like broke or something, and like
Well, no, her memories were
happiness and sadness.
disappeared.
Yeah, no, I don't know. She turned into just like this hollow shell, and she just like start crying in class randomly. I don't
Hmm.
know. I thought it was really funny. Just the way they
Yeah.
portrayed it was really funny. Her parents were pieces of shit, man. Like they did not care about her.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got
Her her first.
what's up?
Oh, I was just gonna say her first day of school. They didn't even walk her to school. They let her walk to school by herself in this brand new town in New York City, and like I don't know.
Just figure it out, honey.
They weren't busy. They weren't busy. They were just hanging around.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
I mean, I had it lower on my list because I didn't enjoy it as much, but I concur with every issue that you've had with it.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know why it's so high on my list. I think just because I don't know. I really don't. You know, maybe because I liked it more the first time I saw it, but as I've rewatched it, I just realize how bland and generic it is. Like if I could put a tie between this and Soul, I would. I feel the exact same way about both movies. They're just
Yeah,
generic, have a lot of problems. Anyway,
agreed.
let's go to your top 10.
Oh, we're in the top 10. All right, sweet.
Yes,
So
sir.
you've mentioned this one, uh,
Okay.
and that is Incredibles 2.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to put that above the first Incredibles.
No, of course not. But I've got something above Incredibles that you're not going to like. But anyways, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Incredibles 2, it yeah, no, I have it written in my notes here that it was I put a little too predictable. And I want to just change that and say a lot too predictable because apparently you were also able to predict the villain. I mean,
Yeah,
I literally I didn't catch on to the name, like that didn't register with me. I just when I was
really.
watching it, I was like, yeah, yeah. I just was like, she's the bad guy. Like I just for some reason I was like, she's the bad guy. Like she is. And then it happened that way, and I was like, yep, I knew that. But I do
Hmm.
think it was an okay sequel. I actually like the villain aspect, not her, but just how the villain had like a different kind of power. You know, it was
Hmm.
controlling the minds through the media, which I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Clever.
But I thought it was a well-written sequel. Let me change my phrasing. I thought it was an okay written sequel, and
Yeah, I thought it was a disaster.
really.
I really did. I just thought it was just really bad movie all the way around.
And I think I watched it in the theaters, so like I am a
Me too.
proponent of this. When you really when you watch
Hmm.
something in the theaters, I do believe that it amples your enjoyment of it just a little bit. I think when you go home and watch it, that changes. That like those goggles are off, and you're like, oh, this is a piece of crap. But in the theaters, I think it makes it a little bit of an easier watch.
I can agree with you, but it didn't make it any easier for me. I still hated it. I thought it sucked. That was a piece of shit.
Yep, that's it for 10.
But
That's all
that's
I got
cool.
for 10.
For 10, okay. You've mentioned my 10, but we're finally getting into the movies that I would consider positive. These are good movies from 10 to 1. 10 is Wall-E. I think that Wall-E is an overrated good movie. It is an overrated good movie. I enjoy watching it. I've seen it several times. I don't really pick up on anything upon rewatches more than just I'm entertained while watching it. I like the fact that there's no dialogue really for like 30, 45 minutes maybe. That's pretty ballsy for a kids movie.
Right.
So that's cool. I respect their ambitions. And I really like what the movie is saying kind of about the future. I love all the fat people riding around on the things, crying when they drop something. And it's so funny to me. It really is funny. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's a good entertaining movie. I can watch it. I can enjoy it while it's on. And yeah, that's that.
Yeah, I think it's so overhyped with critics that I get a little bit defensive in saying like I don't like it as much as like these critics do. But I also it was it's good.
It's a 6 out of 10. It is a 6 out of 10.
It's better than average.
Yeah, it's above average for me. That 6 out of 10 is above average for me, and that's exactly what Wall-E is. All right, cool. What is your number 9, Ricky?
Oh, we're getting into the good stuff now, buddy. Toy Story 2 is my number 9. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, boy. Oh man. I don't really have much bad things to say about it. I just think it was a good sequel. Not okay. This was a good sequel. The character development in this was super well written. Like for Buzz, I mean, he had the least character development, but it was still good for him. For Jesse, Woody, like the development of these characters were really really good. It was really heartfelt. Yeah, I just I don't know. When it comes to movies that I would pick of all the Pixar movies to watch, this would just fall lower into like the list from other movies. I don't dislike it. It's not my first choice to watch. You know? So that's that.
I just watched this one the other day. Before we talked about doing Pixar just because I wanted to. And you'll see where I put it. I'll talk about it in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Your number 9 was Toy Story 2, huh?
Yeah, by the way, it's these I don't know for you, but the next movies are going to be kind of hard to like give a negative, reviews about cuz
I don't have any more negative reviews.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of mine I'm positive about.
Mm-hmm. Okay, true.
That's cool. We're in the good ones now. That's fair. So Toy Story 2 was your number 9. My number 9 is Toy Story 3. I like this movie. I think it's good. I also would consider this to be an overrated good movie. There is just too much in it that aggravates me when I watch it that I just cannot find myself to say it's better than 1 and 2, or Toy Story 1 and 2. Feels like a rehash of Toy Story 2. It really does. It's the same plot. There's so many of the same things. There's like the opening is very similar. The villain is like literally the exact same character. Like the old pink bear, and then the prospector in Toy Story 2. They're just like they're the same character, and they have the flashback of the like getting thrown away out in the desert in this really over exposed flashback. I don't know. It's the same fucking movie. And
Yeah, and their
I don't
like
know.
end game is kind of the same as well. You know, the prospector wants to go to a museum where he will never be thrown away again. He'll always be loved. And
Yeah.
then the teddy bear, I forgot his name, teddy bear wants to be the daycare where kids will always be cycling in and
And
out depending on the
uh-huh.
age.
And they both end up under the care of someone who won't care for their well-being. Like
Right.
they're very similar, and I can't help but tell people that what they love about Toy Story 3 is something that you love in Toy Story 1 and 2. If it wasn't for those movies, 3 wouldn't be as well received as it is. I just don't think 3 is as good as people say it is. I like the ending. I like what they were going for, even though it was kind of weird watching Andy play with the toys at the end of the movie. I was just awkward. Like he's sitting there playing with them by himself. And I can't get over the fact that at this point, Andy's toys have been watching him masturbate.
Yeah, dude, I've thought about that so much. I'm like, what happens if he's like looking at porn or something and they're just watching? Like,
With that
what
stupid
happens there?
smile on
These are
Woody's face.
these are the scenes that we need. Okay, we need to see this.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wow.
So yeah. Funny that we both have a Toy Story movie at number 9.
Number 9, right? Well, not to give away, later on, but I think I disagree with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
we're at
know how much you like.
yeah, we're at number 8. And number 8 for me is Monsters Inc. Yeah, I didn't write any notes except for one thing. And this is literally what I say in the notes. Just Billy Crystal, John Goodman, and Steve Buscemi. That's the only reason that this movie is where it's at. They are freaking the best cast for any Pixar movie, in my opinion. You can't do Toy Story's pretty close, but
I was gonna say Toy
them.
Story and Finding Nemo. Something about the voice casting in that movie is pretty spot on. I hate Ellen.
It's just
but...
you don't. I agree. I don't know. The reason why I put Billy Crystal, John Goodman, and Steve Buscemi in Monsters Inc. is that's what makes the movie as good as it is for me. Finding Nemo and Toy Story, like the story is good. I mean, the story's good in Monsters Inc., but it just the voice actors kind of hit the ball out of the park for me. That's pretty much it. I don't have a lot to say about Monsters Inc.
Fun fact about Monsters Inc. That is the second movie I saw in the theater, like in my life.
Oh, that's interesting.
When I was a kid, yeah. The first movie I saw in the theater was Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
Oh, so you had a good life. I mean, your childhood was good.
Yeah, it was around the same time. But 2001. I remember sitting in the theater watching this for the first time and being mind blown. Number 8 for me. No, what?
I just said got a blast.
Oh yeah. Number 8 for me is my favorite post-Wall-E movies. Oh no, it's not. I'm lying to you. I forgot. Never mind. It's my second favorite of the post-Wall-E movies. That's Coco. I was shocked at how much I liked this one. I wouldn't say I love it. I mean, I'm comfortable leaving this one at like a 6 out of 10 as well. But it really did hit me in the feels in the end of the movie. And I think this might be the most gorgeous animation in Pixar. Not the most realistic, but like just pretty, just aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
It might not like Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4. Those might be the most realistic looking ones. But yeah, Coco hit it was pretty. It was just very, nice to look at. Yeah, and I don't know. There's not a whole lot to say about it. I like the culture. I like the way they represented, that culture that hasn't really been touched on unless you've seen that Book of Life movie, which I didn't really like that
Right.
much. I think this one kind of did a better job at portraying the Dia de los Muertos thing. Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that because usually when a Pixar movie comes out, there's always like a Walmart version of it. So yeah, I remember when that came out too, and I always got confused with them. I was like, which one's the Pixar one? But
What's funny is Book of Life came out way before Coco did.
Oh, way before. Oh, I didn't know that.
I watched Book of Life when I was in high school, and Coco that came out in like 2017, I think.
Yeah, like 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, number 7, I guess we're on. Number 7. Some people might disagree, but I disagree with the people who disagree with me. I think this is a respectable place to put this film. Number 7 is The Incredibles for me.
Had a feeling.
Yeah. It was. Here's the deal. Okay, here is the tea. I am not the biggest Marvel or superhero movie fan. I'm not into it. So that's really the only reason I have it lower. It's a great movie. It's super enjoyable, but I'm just not a big superhero fan. So that's really the only reason it has dropped to 7 for me. So
I would consider myself to be a superhero fan. Probably a bigger superhero fan than you. But here recently, I began to realize just how much of them I don't like. So like, I can understand why you're not crazy about The Incredibles, I guess.
Yeah. So,
but
number 7 is The Incredibles.
I'll show you where mine is in a little bit. We'll see when we get there. All right, number 7 for me is Up. This is my favorite post-WALL-E movie. This is definitely my favorite post-WALL-E movie. In fact, the first 5 minutes, I didn't want to say it while you were reviewing, while you were talking about it, but the first 5 minutes are my favorite 5 minutes out of any Pixar movie.
Okay.
I think that the way they told that story was so unique. It was very, very creative. And you're absolutely right. Nothing after it lives up to it. But I don't think the rest of the movie is that bad. I just think that it's I don't know. They blew their load too fast. All the best parts were in the very beginning.
They came too quickly.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
But it's still good. Like, I was so emotionally invested because of the first 5 minutes that I was able to stay intrigued throughout the whole movie. And yeah, I'm comfortable at putting Up at number 7. It's not the best, but it still earns its place. You know what I mean?
Right. No. Yeah. Absolutely. I like Up. I like the main guy. I can't remember the actor's name, but the voice actor for the main older guy, he did a really good job. It's
Christopher Plummer. Wasn't it Christopher Plummer?
No, that's not the name. But let me see if it's.
I thought it was Christopher Plummer. He just died like 2 days ago, didn't he? Or yesterday?
I think.
He just.
No, Christopher Plummer is Charles Muntz. Ed Asner was the. No, I'm talking about the main old guy.
Oh, okay.
The short one that.
Honestly, I thought Christopher Plummer did voice the main old guy.
No, I mean no. That was the bad old guy, which doesn't make a lot of sense because, okay, can I just rant? In the beginning, the main, what's his name? Dude, I have to figure out his name. Hold on. Carl. Yeah. Carl was a little like 10 years old, and the guy that he looked up to, right? The bad guy was like 30 years old. And then now Carl was like 80 years old. And how old is this? The bad guy? Is he like 100?
Yeah, 110.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, man. Don't question it. Yeah. No, I agree. It's a good film.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So What's your number 6?
So remember how I told you that I'm gonna have a movie above The Incredibles that's gonna probably trigger you and a lot of other people?
Yeah,
It's time for that. Do you want to make a guess on which movie that is? I haven't said it yet.
Cars probably.
It's Cars.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
Gary. Cars is
I
my
wouldn't say
number
it
6.
triggered me. It just kind of hurt my feelings a little bit.
No, no, no. Cars was the first movie that I bought bootleg from a Winn-Dixie guy who was had all of his DVDs. That he's like, well, I have the DVDs before they come out in the movies, and I was like, oh, cool. So I bought it, and then yeah, it was like horrible quality. Someone grabbed a recorder and went to a movie theater and recorded it. So
Yeah.
that was my first introduction to Cars. But after I actually watched the film itself, I enjoyed it. Like I'm from a small town, so like a lot of that small town vibe that Radiator Springs gives the the viewer. I connected with. I liked Mater. My family was big into Larry the Cable Guy growing up, so that was also another reason why I was super into it. My grandpa watches NASCAR, and I hate NASCAR, but that I resonated with Cars more than most people. And to be fair, Cars is the most profitable Pixar film of any Pixar film. Did you know that?
Really? Even more than Toy Story?
Yep. You want to know why?
Why?
Because of the merchandise. The little Cars.
No,
toys.
I was about to say, like, Toy Story is built for the merchandise. They're fucking toys. That's why I asked.
There's been more profit.
Profitable. Fuck.
There's more profit sales in the Cars than there is any of the Toy Story.
That's why there's 3.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole reason. It's because they're making their money off the little car toys, and they're just like, let's make another one. We're making millions of dollars on these little cars.
So they're just toy commercials, essentially.
Yo, talk about amazing advertising. Are we judging Cars too harshly? Maybe they're actually super smart for doing this.
No, I'm gonna put now Cars and Minions are on the same level for me.
Really?
Yes. Well, no, Minions are still lower. That's still fuck Illumination.
Yeah, Illumination. Yeah, for sure.
That's my number one. My number one Illumination movie would still be a negative review. I'll just say that.
I don't even know what other Illumination movie there is besides.
Literally, the best one is The Despicable Me, and it's trash.
Yeah, those.
It still sucks. There's like The Secret Life of Pets. There's like the Lorax.
Oh,
that
are
new
also
Grinch
bad.
movie, which I never even watched the Grinch. And then Minions, yeah, Minions, and between Minions and Lorax, I don't know what's worse, man.
Oh yeah, no, those are really bad. So yeah, 6 is Cars.
All right, well, 6 for me is that childhood nostalgia movie. That's Monsters Inc. I love Monsters Inc. It's very good. Like you said, the voice actors are incredible. I think this one's really clever. Like, this was one of the first movies that ever made me like think like, that's a clever take on monsters and stuff. And just the whole idea of behind them being in your closet, and like I like it. It's clever. I don't know what more to say about it. I would say this is probably the first movie on this list that I love. I think that it just hits those childhood beats, like, just right. They're all, I don't know. I like rewatching it from time to time. It has a really shitty prequel, but Monsters Inc. is awesome. It's fucking hilarious. It's really, really funny.
Yeah.
I think Sully's like, I don't know, in my top 2 or 3 favorite characters in Pixar.
Really? That's interesting. More than Mike Wazowski, huh?
No, I like Sully. He's my favorite. Mike's fine, but Sully's my guy, man. He's the best.
Dude,
yeah,
can John Goodman ever do wrong?
Like, no.
He's great. He's awesome. Everything he touches
is like
everything. Yeah. Maybe The Borrowers
That's true.
wasn't that great.
What's that?
Oh, that's for another time. He's like,
Okay.
he's just a regular person. He's got like little mini people living in his house, and he finds out about them and tries to like get rid of them. It's a
Sounds
weird
amazing.
movie.
Sounds awesome. Why have I not seen that? I want to watch that now. All right. Well, I guess we can move on to the top 5.
The top 5. Did you like that?
These are the good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually have 3 movies that we have not. I know is going to be in our top 5 because I haven't heard you mention them yet. But, well, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. Nope. Yeah. There's 3. So my fifth ranked Pixar movie is Coco. I also didn't want to watch the movie, and it was because I had watched Pixar movie after Pixar movie prior to what you call the WALL-E, post WALL-E, and I was just disappointed every time. I was like, this sucks, not including Up.
Yeah.
But I would watch. I was just like, I don't want to watch any more Pixar. So when I watched this movie, I actually watched this movie last year. I think I had Disney Plus at this time, and I turned on Coco just to check it out. And I was so freaking pleasantly surprised of how much I enjoyed it. Like, I really liked it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt.
Even
very solid movie.
The end part of the movie gave me the same feelings as the beginning part of Up.
Yeah,
when he starts singing to his grandmother, and she's like, "Oh, it was good. It was really heartfelt. I liked it a lot."
Yeah, it was. I didn't cry, but I could feel like tears in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I like old people, so like old people are like my kryptonite. So whenever I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is so sweet." Yeah.
Huh. Well, cool. Yeah, I was wondering when you were going to say that. I didn't know it was going to be this high up, but that's pretty awesome.
Sir.
Yes, sir. So, my number 5, some people would probably say is too low. This is most people's favorite Pixar movie. Probably, I would say the vast majority of people would say this is the best. Which I totally love, Toy Story, but it's not the best in my opinion. It hasn't aged super well. I love the first Toy Story. Like, don't get me wrong. Clearly, it's in the top 5. But like, holy shit, that dog and the humans, like,
yeah,
the Anna is, it's bad. Well, the humans look like toys too.
Yeah,
and it's like, I guess I like the fact that they chose to animate toys, because that's clearly where their animation was at that point in time. They could, do cheap animation movements and it would look real because toys aren't real. I mean, they're real, but they don't move. It worked out well for them. I thought that was cool. And not to mention, it's one of the most profitable franchises ever just because it's toys. And that works out. I fucking love that movie. I think it's great. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. It's not this perfect, shining child's movie, but I really enjoyed the first Toy Story. I don't think it's bad at all.
Yeah, and to continue with that, my number 4 is Toy Story. Yeah, voice acting is really what shines in this. Dude, whoever thought that Tim Allen would be a space cowboy and Tom Hanks would be a cowboy, and it would work so well.
I wouldn't have thought that.
It worked. Like, everything about it worked as a child. I mean, we were both, I think we were both like a year old. I was born in 94. When were you born?
I was born later than that. I'm gonna keep it a secret though for my channel. I want people to not know how old I am.
Okay, I was.
You're a little older than me, yeah.
Okay. I was a year old, and like, this was childhood for me. I played with toys, and after watching it, I was like, my toys are real. Like, I could connect with like what it was. Maybe I'm crazy, But yeah, I liked. It was good. It was really good. It's
No,
definitely top
when I was
5.
a kid, I would like look at my toys, like when I would like hide from them, and I would like look at them when they were facing the other way, just to see. I was a stupid kid.
Oh gosh, yeah, it was. I don't know. It definitely crafted everyone in our age group. It crafted, I think, our life in a weird way. Like I think if Toy Story wasn't created, we might have a little bit different of a life than we do now. As odd as that is.
Yeah, between Toy Story and Lion King, those are probably the two most influential movies for me and your generation as far as animated movies go. I mean,
Yeah, we need to get into a Disney version of this because I think we're really gonna annoy people.
why is that?
You just said a movie that I don't think is great.
You
But
don't like Lion
anyway,
King?
this is a Pixar ranking.
Yeah.
I have my problems
Yeah.
with Lion King, so
We'll argue about that one day.
yeah.
I hate the new one.
Oh, of course. Well, that's a different level of
Yeah.
trash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll move on to my number 4 because it's still kind of relevant. My number 4 is Toy Story 2.
Ooh,
Now,
Toy Story 2
this
above
one,
Toy Story.
yeah, very ever so slightly. These are both because I think Toy Story 2 actually fixes a lot of the flaws that I have with the first one. Like, literally goes out of their way to fix flaws. Like in the first Toy Story, there's a scene where Buzz hops onto a car and then opens up his wings and then goes on this loop-de-loop and then shoots off. In Toy Story 1, he like opens his wings before going on the loop-de-loop. And if you think about it, his wings should hit the loop-de-loop and like cause him to wreck. But the camera cuts whenever he goes on it just to kind of like edit around that. And then
Right.
if you watch Toy Story 2, he does the exact same thing, except he doesn't open his wings until after the loop-de-loop. So I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, wow, they notice their flaws and they actually go out of their way to fix them in this movie. And, I appreciate that. The animation was a lot better. The storyline, I felt I connected to it more. I don't know. I really like Toy Story 2. I think it's my favorite Toy Story movie. I know it's my favorite Toy Story movie. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies too. That's why I was so shocked to see it so low on your list.
Yeah.
Thought you liked it a little more.
I
That's all
like it.
right.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Just not as much as the other. Well, the first and third. Um.
Yeah,
So
I know a lot of
speaking
people that
of
say.
third, this is my third ranking movie. Third, this is my third ranking movie, and
Mm-hmm.
it's Ratatouille.
Ooh,
Yeah. It this
I'm
movie.
glad to see this in your top 3.
Oh, for sure. Like maybe this has the same effect on you as it does me, but this movie gets better the older I get.
Oh yes.
Dude, when I was a kid, this
Oh
movie,
yeah.
I didn't like this movie.
Absolutely.
I didn't like it. I was like, this movie's boring. Get older, I'm like, oh, this movie's okay. A little bit older, this movie's great. Now, I'm like, I love this movie. This is
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
so it's I don't know what it is. It's the age effect. Something about me getting older.
It
I'm just
really
loving
is.
this movie.
It's a maturity movie. It's just like I feel the same way about Ratatouille as I do Rango. They're both like, they both start with
Yeah.
RA, but they're both great. I don't know. They're more mature. That's all there really is to it.
Yeah, it's great. I really don't know what to praise about it because I mean, if you really just take away that aspect of like the older I get, it's a pretty I mean, it's a basic movie, It doesn't really it's not really groundbreaking. It's just I don't know what it is. It's a mystery of why I like it so much.
Huh. Cool. I'm so glad to see this in your top 3.
Yeah.
My number 3 is the nostalgia pick for me. That's Finding Nemo.
Oh.
I saw it in theaters. From the music to just everything about the movie. As soon as I put it on, it's like I'm immediately sent back to my childhood. It's just one of those. And I'm sure quality wise, it's super great. I didn't rewatch it for this list or anything, just because I've seen it so many times. But like, I just, there's so many memorable characters. Like, I just remember so much about this. Like, Crush, the turtle, or like Bruce, the shark, or like just that group of fish that like would make the different pictures. It's just, there's a bunch of different unique characters. And I remember every single one of them. And not to
Yeah.
mention Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe voices Gil, is that his name, in the fish tank? And anytime he's a part of anything, I love it more.
I mean, I think your listeners, know that you have a crush on William Dafoe. He's like your guy. So
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah. Well, I haven't reviewed Lighthouse yet for my channel, but whenever I finally decide to jerk off all over that movie for my channel, I'll be praising Willem Dafoe like crazy.
Right.
I kind of want to watch that with you. I want to see your reaction.
Hey, if we have people listening to this point, we have the ability now to react to movies live together. So that can be something we do. Obviously, we got to watch this the Toxic Avenger. I've still been wanting to do that.
Yeah, we got to do it.
Going back to Finding Nemo, I mean, that's my number 2 pick. Finding Nemo is my second favorite of all time. And yes, it is nostalgic every time I watch it as well. Like, it
hits you in those feels.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect movie. I don't really, I mean, let me rephrase. A perfect Pixar movie. From what we have been given, this is honestly the best executed film of any Pixar movie. I truly believe, like, it's great. Characters are used in the best way. The pacing is like great. Animation is really good. At the point it first came out,
gorgeous.
It was and even today, it is great.
Dude, it's better than Soul. I like the animation in Finding Nemo more than I like in Soul. And
absolutely.
And fucking what's that other one that came out last? Onward. Better than both of them.
It's great. Like, this would be my first pick, but I mean, I just have more of an emotional
attachment to Toy Story 3.
Yeah. All right, what's your second one?
I can narrow it down. You can probably guess what my 2 and 1 are if you know me.
I know.
Number 2 is The Incredibles.
Thank God.
Number 2 is The Incredibles. I love it, dude. I really do. I know this is another one of those that's like most people's favorite, and it's close. It's close, but it's not quite my favorite. But it has aged very well. I watched it recently. I still love it. I think it's really good. I like it more now than I did as a kid. There's a lot much more to pick up on. It's a lot more relevant. Like, the social commentary in it is a lot more relevant, and the villain is done really well. I love Syndrome. I think Jason Lee is a great voice actor. I love My Name is Earl, and I think he is great as Syndrome. There's just a lot to it that I really, really love. I mean, the animation has aged terribly. They didn't do a very good job at capturing the time period. I did not feel like I was watching people in the 60s. Just didn't get that vibe at all. It just felt like a standard modern movie. That's one thing that the second movie actually did better than the first.
I didn't even know that.
The second movie I actually kind of felt. Yeah. Really?
I didn't know. I thought when they showed their backstory, that was like the 60s, and now we're in today's time. But now that I actually think about it, it was supposed to be set in the 60s, right? The whole movie.
60s or the 70s, yeah. It was like a noir thing.
What? But she had a cell phone.
That was just hammered home for me more. What? No, she never had a cell phone. She had like a home phone that could disconnect. But like I'm sure they had futuristic stuff. But the movie, it took place in like the 60s or 70s. because in the second movie, I remember noticing more 70s style stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. These are like noir classic style movies.
Oh wow.
Really, the only thing the second one did better than the first one, other than animation. But
I
yeah,
didn't
no,
even know that.
that's like my only flaw with the movie. I don't have any other problems with it. They're just, I can't think of an issue. It's paced very well. It's exciting. There's death. One of the characters dies by getting sucked into a plane propeller. Like the shit, like it's dark for a kids movie, and I like that they didn't shy away from some of that stuff. And I don't know. I just thought it was, you know, it's not as good as like other superhero movies from that time period. Like it's not as good as Batman Begins. It's not as good as Spider-Man 2 or whatever. Those I think all came out the same year. But it's still a very solid superhero movie, you know? Not
Yeah,
just Pixar movie. It's still a good superhero movie.
I mean, it's in my top 7, so I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Obviously I like it more than you. But yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about Toy Story 3?
Today, we are discussing the greatest Pixar film ever created. And that is
right
Toy.
after Ricky's done talking about Toy Story 3.
You shut up. Because The Incredibles is the greatest Pixar movie ever, dude. Are you okay? Toy Story 3 takes two films from our childhood, Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2, which you have agreed is in your top 10. Top 5.
Top 5.
Wait. Top 5, exactly. Two
Yeah,
great
yeah, both of 'em.
films. The fact that it took both of those films, it gave it its reverence, and it still was fresh enough. I mean, yeah, I see a lot of similarities like you see with Toy Story 2, but I think Toy Story 3 did it better. They did a better job showcasing that type of that formula. Dude, the voice
I
acting
don't
is
know.
killer. The fact that it's taking something that we all deal with growing up, the fact that we aren't going to stay children, we're not going to have the same situations in life. We have to get rid of certain things to become older, to be an adult. Can I just okay? I gotta just break something down. That is my greatest fear. Growing up is my biggest fear. I hate it. When I had to move away from my parents, I hated it. I didn't want to grow up. The older I get, I have
Mhm.
this fear. So I appreciate that part of the movie, like the issues that it's talking about. And it ended the three movies perfectly. It tied it in a beautiful little bow and ended it perfectly. I liked when Andy played the toys with a little girl. That one last time to play with those toys, to give his childhood away, to go to college. I think it's
so funny.
perfect, man.
I thought it
And
was so funny.
the piece of crap Toy Story 4 that came out, I don't even look at it. Like, it doesn't exist for me. It doesn't. And Toy Story 3 is just a great movie all the way around.
I admit,
I love it.
I would probably like Toy Story 3 more if Toy Story 4 didn't exist. So if that's anything.
Yeah. And you know what I put down? This is I take this back, but I did write this down in my notes. Literally,
Mhm.
Toy Story 3 could have ended Pixar movies in general. Like, it could have been the last Pixar movie ever made, and it would be a great ending to Pixar. I loved it,
Yeah.
dude. I loved everything about it. And you know what? To be fair, I do think the ending was so good for me that that's what really makes it number one on my list.
Mhm.
Like, do you think it ended well?
Yeah, definitely. I think that would have been the perfect send off for the Toy Story franchise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. I love the themes. I love the the beats that it hits. It never made me like cry like it did everybody else, but like I guess I understand why it did. It just could have been done better. I think the journey in the middle of the movie just was a little too familiar. I still like it. I would still give it a positive score. It's just not. It's not like, I don't know. It's nothing too special. I'd much rather watch Rango or
Or
Ratatouille, which is my
there
number
you
one.
go. Nice
Yeah.
transition.
Thank you. Yeah, I just think Ratatouille is this. It's a probably 10 out of 10 movie for me. Like, I don't really have any flaws with it. My favorite aspect of the movie is it how little time it spends on things that don't matter. I feel like a lot of these newer Pixar movies waste a lot of time trying to explain how certain things work, and in return kind of end up breaking their own rules. It's also the same problem I have with like the Avengers movies and shit. They just spend so much time explaining how things work. But like in Ratatouille, when he's pulling on Linguini's hair or whatever, and it moves his arm, he's like, "How are you doing that?" And then he just kind of shrugs his shoulders, and that's literally the explanation.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that. I love that so much. And I don't know. I guess it's just little details like that. Like, the movie doesn't take itself seriously, and it doesn't try to. It just tries to entertain you, and that's what I wish all of these movies did. But they don't. They try so hard to go further. And like you said, it gets so much better with age. So much better with age. It ages like fine wine, unlike A Bug's Life, which ages like fucking milk.
That is true. Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
what would your feelings be if out there in the distant future they decide to do a sequel? Do you think it could
Uh,
be done? Do you think, obviously it's not a good idea, but do you think it could be done in a good way?
no. And
Yeah,
here's
I
why.
don't either.
Brad Bird proved to me that he can't film a good sequel when he made Incredibles 2, which is something that he said he was really passionate about. And when he made Incredibles 1, he's like, I'm not making Incredibles 2 unless I have an idea that's just as good as Incredibles 1. And the Incredibles 2 came out, and it was clearly just a cash grab. And Brad Bird is the same guy who directed Ratatouille. And I just think he would do the same thing he did with Incredibles 2. He'd just fucking do it like a cash grab, and it would be, I don't know, pointless and probably stupid liberal agenda thrown into it and shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with it. I think
Oh,
Ratatouille is a good movie to stand on its own.
I also this is a personal opinion. I mean, obviously, people
Mm-hmm.
definitely it. Yeah. Um, so Incredibles 2, they did something that I didn't really understand. They started to curse, and I didn't get it. Like,
What
it's
do
a
you mean?
kids movie, right? Huh?
Did they like say like swear words and stuff?
Yeah, I think one of the words was like damn or hell. And like obviously I don't like it's a movie, but it's also a kids movie, so I didn't understand why.
I don't know. I never really had an issue with it as long as they didn't, use it in excess. Like, they cuss in Shrek, and
Well, yeah,
like
Shrek, but that's what I'm saying. Like Shrek, it's kind of like I don't know, they've just never done it before. So when they did it in Incredibles 2, I'm just
PIXAR.
like,
Really?
yeah, yeah, they've never,
Really?
yeah,
They never anything before Incredibles 2, huh?
nothing. Unless you want
Huh.
to unless you
Uh,
want to include Cars when Lightning McQueen's like, I'm in hillbilly hell. But I don't. That's not. I don't think that.
oh,
But I don't know. That was just a weird opinion I had. I just didn't understand it. But yeah.
interesting
So
thoughts. I've never really thought about it.
top 23, man. Or we've ranked all the Pixar's, and I mean, obviously, you're wrong about Toy Story 3, but I agree with your assessments of the other films. So
Eh, it's debatable. I think Toy Story 3 is a little overrated, but it's fine. It's good. I'd watch it. I like it more than 14 other movies. So
Yeah, I mean, and we agreed. I mean, we can agree right now. Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, Coco, Toy Story, and The Incredibles are like, I mean, those are the ones that we had high on our list. Those are like
Mhm.
phenomenal
Yeah.
Pixar movies.
Yeah,
For
definitely,
sure.
definitely. But yeah, I'll probably be rewatching Toy Story 3 whenever I make my 2010 list, which should be coming up pretty soon because I'm doing my 2011 and 2015. Then I'll probably do 2010. I don't know. I doubt Toy Story 3 will make it just because I'm pretty strict. And there's a
Come
lot of
on,
good
just
shit in 2010.
put it in an honorable mention, and then like just tell me, that it was done for me. Just come on, man.
This is an honorable mention, but I don't care for this movie. But
Yeah.
Ricky likes it, so it's
Yeah.
honorable. It's everyone else's in their top 2. It's like everyone else is like Inception and Toy Story 3. What's the best of 2010? And I'm over here like, yeah, that's not either one of those. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, nice. We finished it. Before we end this video, do we want to get into like the recommendation for the next video?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I figured at the end of each one of these, we would take turns and switch. One person would pick something for the other person to watch or do or prepare for or whatever for the next video, whether it be another ranking or just a review or whatever. So, who would be recommending the next video?
I think you, because I think I kind of brought up the Pixar movie, and we both like the idea, but I think I kind of started the idea, so I think it's on you now.
Okay. Well, I know we'll be doing the Toxic Avenger already. That's obvious. We're doing that with it's already, goes without saying. So I'll make a different recommendation. I want you to watch a movie that I really enjoy that everyone is torn on. There are certain people that say this is just like a generic. This is a horror movie, by the way. People say it's a really generic slasher movie, but I think it's got a little bit of merit behind it. It's a little special to me. I want you to watch the 2006 Alexandre Aja's The Hills Have Eyes. And then I want to discuss it. Whether we watch it together or you watch it on your own, I don't really care. But this movie fucking terrified me when I was a kid. And maybe that's why I like it so much, because I watched it when I was so young and it just stuck with me. But this movie's fucking good. Let's just say they put a lot of practical effects in there, and it makes all the violence and the mutants, they feel like it all feels real.
Okay. I don't even know anything about. I mean, I've heard the title, but I really don't know anything about it.
I think it's very effective. I think they don't really shy away from a lot, and I appreciate it. So I want you to watch it, and I want to discuss it.
Awesome. I kind of want to watch it today before the Super Bowl.
Why not, man? It's not a long movie. It's got to be under 2 hours. And,
yeah, I'm
another
looking
thing
at
is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Finish your sentence.
No, I'm just looking at it on IMDb, and it looks interesting. Very.
It's good. It's the best thing from that director.
Okay. No, I'm down. I'm interested.
Mm-hmm. The guy that plays Pyro from X-Men, the fire guy, he's in it, and he's amazing. He gives a really good performance. And I know you're not too bothered by gory stuff, so I'm not gonna. Nah. It's got some gory shit.
I mean, I watched the Siberian. I can't even remember the title of the name.
Oh, Serbian film.
Serbian film, yeah, and I enjoyed it. So
it's nothing like that. It's way more accessible than that.
Oh, lame. Okay, cool.
Serbian film, that's disgusting, dude. I'll watch it with you if you really want to watch it today. We could Zoom it. I don't care.
Yeah, that. And then we also had this idea later on to do Adam Sandler ranking. So that is something that needs to
Oh
be
yeah.
in the works.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. Toxic Avenger. We got The Hills Have Eyes. Also, maybe we can do like the Batmans in order of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that would be pretty good. I think a lot of people would be interested in watching someone who's never watched the Batman films to watch it.
Mhm.
Each one.
Yeah, dude. I want you to watch all the old ones, and then I want you to watch the Nolan ones after. That way, you get the same kind of appreciation for them that everyone else has.
Yeah. And how many is there before Batman and Robin? Is there like 3?
Yeah. If you don't count the '60s TV show spinoff movie,
Yeah, no.
with Adam West, there's the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman. There's Batman Returns, which is a sequel to the Michael Keaton one.
Mhm.
Sorry. Then there's Batman Forever, which is
With
like
Jim
the
Jim
first
Carrey.
Joel Schumacher movie. Yeah. And it sucks. And then there's Batman and Robin, which is like the sequel to Batman Forever.
Wait, really?
And yeah, they're both directed by Joel Schumacher. Batman Forever is literally like the precursor to Batman and Robin. They're both ass. They're retarded
Wait.
toy commercials.
So it's a sequel, but it's a different cast.
Batman's different, yeah, but the guy that plays Robin is the same.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Val Kilmer is Batman in Batman Forever, and then George Clooney is Batman in Batman and Robin, and then
Is
Chris
there a
O'Donnell.
reason?
I guess Val Kilmer didn't want to be in another retarded movie. I wouldn't. Val Kilmer probably watched Batman Forever and was like, "Fuck that shit. That's not worth any money. I'm gonna go make
Okay.
Tombstone instead."
Yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah.
I'm excited to watch that too because you give me rating reviews of Batman and Robin, so
Greatest
I'm
movie of all
excited.
time.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's beautiful. You're gonna love it. All right. Well, I guess that concludes our Pixar ranking.
All right, in the comments, let us know whose ranking is better than mine. Yeah, let's see how many votes we get.
Just leave a comment and let us know that you like mine more, and then we'll, yeah, or don't. I don't give a fuck.
There he is.
Oh yeah, if you've actually listened this far, then maybe go outside and do something else.
Yeah, do something with your life.
Go get some exercise, man. But thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. Join us next time when we talk about the mountains have ears.
Oh,
Great horror.
also,
Oh,
I might start a new YouTube channel. So if I have started it, he'll link my channel in the description. If not, I didn't make a channel. So
yeah.
be on the lookout for that, possibly.
I can confidently say that by the time this is uploaded, Ricky will either make a channel or won't.
Absolutely. All right, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for doing this. It was fun.
Adios.
And later.
Someone's at your door.
Mm-hmm.